Hey there, welcome to the program. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194. We're talking about the 4 pillars of a healthy home: the real estate, the ecosystem, your body, and your mind. All 4 pillars have to be in position, or what happens, Sheila?
The roof caves in.
The roof comes tumbling down. All right. So we started off last week. We had Rob Smith on the program, and we were talking about, he was telling us about his program through the Body Project Studio. And we're going to continue that conversation this time with Paula, his wife, Paula Smith, and she's going to give us more of an overview of what goes on in the practice and holistic medicine and the application in general. So it's a little broader conversation, if you will. Sheila's going to tell us about the Muffin Top Meltdown program that she's got in place and how that can impact your life, Sheila.
So over time, the body accumulates chemicals and we store them, and a lot of times we store them in the gut because the body goes from an alkaline state to an acidic state, and then that creates a whole host of problems, inflammation, disease, that's where everything starts to take off in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people think that they have the muffin top, it's there, it's going to be there for life. It doesn't have to be. It isn't just food and diet. There's many things that we need to put together. And I'm going to say, through my own journey, parasites are like one of the biggest problems. And it's sometimes when you mention that, people just shut down. They're like, can't even believe what I'm saying. I sound like a weirdo. But, parasites in your stool are like my 2 favorite topics to talk about. I know, it's so weird. It's so weird. But, you think about it, when you were a baby, you ate, slept, and pooped. You ate, slept, and pooped. So 80% of Americans are constipated, and you're holding so much toxic waste in your body, and the Muffin Top program will help you to eliminate the waste, reduce that belly, clean out those toxins in your body, and get you feeling better. Now, does it take a little bit of time? It does. But if you're ready and you're tired of having it, I've had it. People look at me and think, oh, well, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. You don't have one. Well, I don't have one now.
Right.
Right? So I did.
And how long does it take? In a year from now, you could be a whole different person.
It does take time. It's not the magic pill. We talk about it all the time. Anything natural takes time. And so you just have to know and be okay with that, or it's not going to work for you.
TheBodyProjectStudio.com with Paula. Tell us about, first of all, I'm curious about how you got into the holistic medicine thing. I mean, where did that all start, and what got you kind of interested?
I actually was raised in North Dakota, and then when I moved down to...
Woo, Wahpeton! Woo!
Might not.
Yes, well, opposite ends, but that's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
So I ended up, my dad was down in Florida, so I ended up going down to Florida with my sister, and I went to a chiropractor at some point, and he showed muscle testing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was 22 years old at the time. No, I was like hooked. I'm like, this is so cool. I think this is really fascinating. Like, to me, I totally got it. I was like, this is really interesting. This is a long time ago.
That's because she was from North Dakota.
Yeah, exactly. So then when I was working at my job, and one of the other employees said to me, you know what, you're way into this natural health stuff. She goes, you know where you should go? And I go, where? She goes, go to Hippocrates Health Institute. She goes, go check it out. And because it was like maybe 30 minutes from us.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, great. So I went down there. They had grass huts. People were coming with degenerative diseases. They were doing, all sorts of natural modalities. So it was not a school,
it was a clinic.
It was a clinic. Okay. Yeah, people would come there with natural.
Is it still there?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think it probably
okay.
is.
Okay.
I think it probably is, but it was mainly people came there with degenerative diseases, and I was able
such as
cancer, such as lots of cancers. Actually, it was mainly cancer.
Okay,
so we saw different types of cancer. So I ended up working there.
Okay. So it was like a last hope kind of a place.
Yeah, it was. It'd be like, oh, you've got your stage 3, stage 4 cancer. Mm-hmm. So they'd go there to see if they could
Save the day.
Save the day, exactly. So, but it was such a wonderful experience. I mean, I'd have people call me like 3 months later and just crying and like they're in remission. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so hooked. I mean, I'm addicted to this industry.
Yeah,
so
right.
that was just, it was so heartwarming, and just to see that, you could help people naturally. It was so amazing. It was a really cool experience. And then when I was there, I actually learned, as people would come in, they would have, like, say that they had cancer, say they had breast cancer, and we'd be like, oh, yay, we have a breast cancer person, or we have a melanoma cancer, because they were always so nice. Suppression of emotions, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Suppression of emotions. They were super nice people.
Who the patients were?
Yes,
Yeah,
they were
the
clients. Yeah, they were so nice. Like that, we love those people. If somebody's like, oh, they have colon cancer or liver cancer,
Oh,
they would
you're
be
scared of them.
Oh, yeah, mean, angry, because that's what stores those emotions.
Yeah. Anger is stored in the liver.
Anger
right?
stored in the liver, exactly.
Okay.
Grief in the lungs,
Right.
fear in the kidneys, So it's to be able to see that all in practice with with cancer, it was pretty cool. So I've been through a lot I wrote all the trends. I did the vegan diet during then, and after I felt great for like 3 months, and then I totally took a nosedive, because that's what we were doing with people there. It was a totally vegan diet, right, to get them out of cancer. But little did I know, you shouldn't do that if you were healthy. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Long term. Anything can be short term, but that long term diet wasn't good for me. Being a blood type O, so I
Does that
started
matter?
draining energy. I'm sorry?
Blood type. You said blood type O.
The blood type O, like she was talking about before, blood type O diet, or the blood typing diet. That was big back then.
It was eat right for your blood type.
Back
was
then,
the
so
big
is that
deal.
baloney?
Yeah.
Discovered to be baloney or what?
No,
blood
people
type
are still doing it.
Okay.
People are still doing it. Yeah, but it was, so when I was leading that, my gut was so bad. Oh my gosh, my digestion, it was terrible. But I went to an acupuncturist, and she goes, the best thing you could do is go eat a steak. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm vegan. But I followed her advice. On the way home, I grabbed a steak. I made it at home, and I never went back from that point on, because I felt so much better. But that's where my journey started with that. So that was a long time ago. And then working through and getting into muscle testing myself and doing different modalities. And now I've ended up with morphogenic field technique, which is basically looking at the external environment and the internal environment. So your external environment, how that dictates your internal environment. So that's the things around you. So
You mean like the toxic products and things like that? Or we're
yeah, it
talking
can be
people?
toxic products, and it's both.
I'm just saying.
Sheila, it's both. It's both.
Yeah.
Because women kind of understand this. Like, if you're somewhere and you feel somebody staring at you from behind, you're like, and it feels creepy.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of look around and you're like, what is that?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, and somebody's there.
Keith. There's Keith over in the corner.
But environment is one of our pillars, right?
Yes.
So you can't keep, it's like when I got sick and then I went through my journey and got well, she said, you can't go back to doing and using what got you here in the first place.
Right.
Yes.
You've got to eliminate the deodorant with aluminum. You've got to eliminate the bleach. You've got to you have to eliminate all those things, because those chemicals are just overloading the body, and the body can't process
That's
them
what we're
anymore.
doing, is we're discovering exactly what is overloading your body. So is your body getting overloaded by air pollution this summer? Yes, a lot of people were.
Right.
And I'm like,
oh, yes.
don't keep your windows open. Like,
Right.
you need to close your windows. You need to get an air filtration
Probably shouldn't have walked
system.
every day in that.
And then why is their body not able to handle that toxic load too? Do they have a disruption in their liver?
Exactly.
Disruption in their colon, or they're not digesting it. They're not pooping enough. A lot of people are just not eliminating enough.
Yep.
Are they not drinking enough water? Kind of the basic stuff. So we look at
Good water.
Yeah, I look at I can't even believe in this day and age that people are drinking tap water, but they do.
They do.
They
All
do.
day long.
I'm honestly like, what?
All
They're
day
like,
long.
oh, Richfield's water good. I go, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
So we look at the lifestyle stuff too. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So when we come back from break, I want to find out what education process did you go through? How did you learn about all this stuff? How much of the knowledge that you've acquired over the years has been through practice and seeing what works and what doesn't work in our industry of real estate? So much of you can't teach it. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
it's on the job. I
Yep.
mean, you can understand the basic laws and understand the agency law and all the real estate laws, but until you get out in the field and encounter the problems and learn to deal with them, that's where the power comes in.
And I want to
Yes.
know how they met.
When we come back from break, this is this is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. 651-775-9194. Give it a number or call, kids. Talk to the lovely and talented Sheila. She'd be happy to chat with you. Talk your ear off. We'll be right back after. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is Our Healthy Homes. We're in the studio with Paula Smith, and we're talking about holistic medicine in general, the holistic health,
we do here.
health approach. Sheila wants to talk about parasites again. She gets mad at me
All
and
day
says,
long.
"You parasite."
We better talk to Rob about that.
All right, so she's in the toilet with chopsticks looking for the
I am. Well, there is truth to that. And let me explain that, though, because when I first heard about it, kind of like the whole, when people look at you like you're like, oh my gosh, you're so weird because you want to talk about parasites.
Yeah,
But
she's talking about me looking at
yeah,
her.
right. So, I did look at it, all the time because this whole natural thing was new to me. And I didn't know whether to believe this naturopath on really, this is legit. Like,
Yeah.
really? This seems weird to
Yeah.
me. And so that's what got me in the digging was because I needed to really know.
Yeah.
And they are in there if you dig. But anyway.
All right, so let's get back on track, kids. Okay, so I want to know about the evolution, if you will, the schooling that you went to or the class or whatever it is that you did, so that you acquired the knowledge and the understanding to be able to help people, and then in the practice itself, that's a discovery in and of itself.
Yeah.
Just working through the practice. Talk about that.
Well, when my 20s, when I was hooked on all this, I said I wanted to get more education. So I became, I went through all the training for certified natural health professional.
Okay.
And then as time went on and I got more into morphogenic field testing, because that kind of encompassed everything. Essential
Morphogenic.
oils and all the other stuff. I mean, the CNHP was kind of the big broad spectrum.
Okay.
So I wanted to go more into morphogenic field testing.
Kind of like the study of frequency. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. Muscle testing. But looking through how trends have happened and how everything just kind of emerged, when I look at it, I say I was gonna go for a naturopathic doctor and then deep functional medicine, whatever. But a lot of the stuff, when you look at it, I was like, this doesn't make sense, because a lot of the conventional modalities of how they're treating people and a regular physicians, right? They're going to say, oh, you have a symptom, here's the drug you need. Well, what I'm finding with functional medicine doctors, okay, we're going to run all this blood work. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars. Your insurance might not even cover it. You're going to do saliva testing. You're going to do stool testing. You're going to do all of this stuff. They're going to find each individual thing. Well, they're low in B12. Let's just give them B12. And to me, I go, well, this doesn't make sense. They're basically doing the same thing, but they're using a natural way of, not that that's bad, functional medicine, because I think it's good to know those things. But to me, we like to go like, why?
Yeah.
Well, why are they deficient in B12?
Right.
Like, what's going on with their body? Are they not getting in their diet?
Change
like,
your
what's
diet.
happening?
Okay, so what's an
Yeah.
example of being low on B12? Like why?
Take B12 vitamin.
So I would say, okay, so basically with muscle testing, I'm going to basically say, okay, why is this person deficient in B12? And I'm going to be using my kits to see like what else is going on. It's like, oh, they're deficient in B12 because their liver methylation is not functioning well. So they might always need B12. They might need to just take B12. A specific type, the methylcobalamin type, but they might have to take that because genetically they don't convert.
Okay.
So it could be that, or it could just be they're not eating enough. They're not eating enough red meat. They're not eating enough to get that B12 in those B12 foods. So, or it can be a dysfunction within the body,
So if I'm a carnivore and I eat mainly meat,
yeah.
but I also take whatever B12 you shove at. Sheila just has pills lined up here and says take those.
Supplements, not pills.
I just do it. Supplements are there. I take it. And what if you don't need it? Well, if I don't need it, then I'll pee it out or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What do I care? I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Now I muscle
simple
test
that
myself
way.
each day.
She's
but
got
okay.
another bottle. It's got skull and crossbones on it, but she tells me to take it every day. It's
arsenic.
What it is.
Right, slow.
So what about supplements then? As a rule, taking supplements.
That's a really interesting, because when I first started testing with applied kinesiology, the technique I used, I mean, I had people on 10, 12 supplements at a time. I was like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to get into the morphogenic field testing, dealing with their emotional stuff, I'm getting people down to the minimal amount of supplements that they need. And then I want to work on their lifestyle to make sure that they're getting the nutrition that they need. And what are they lacking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you find that some people are just bulletproof?
Yes.
I mean, just like they go, we talk about the environmental thing, and we go through the environmental thing, and the, smoke from Canada. They run outside running 3 miles a day, and it's like nothing affects them. Is that true?
Yeah.
Or is it
Some
just,
people have strong constitutions.
It didn't affect them today.
Some people have strong constitutions. That means that their body's naturally good at detoxification.
Okay.
So they're not having a disruption and feeling that symptom from it. Whereas other people are chemically sensitive, and those people tend to be more emotionally sensitive too. The chemically sensitive is like, oh my gosh, somebody around me is wearing perfume.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I can't take it.
Yeah. Dryer sheets.
And they tend to be heightened on the emotional scale too, take on a lot of people's emotions, whether they know it or not.
Okay.
So it's just kind of, some people it's just how everyone's different. Some people are less sensitive, some people are more sensitive.
All right. So how do you deal with the structural thing of people then who are? How do you make that discovery first of all? This person is kind of built this way, so I need to adapt whatever it is procedure.
If somebody has a stronger constitution, they come in and they're like, a lot of men tend to be that way. Lucky for them.
Right.
They might have their digestion's off, and it's like, okay, they come in, I might not have to do anything emotionally. I might be like, well, your gut microbiome is off. You have some immune challenges within it. Let's deal with that. 2-3 sessions, done. Never have to see me again unless they have another issue. So that can definitely be the case. People that are more emotionally and physically sensitive might see us every single month. They see us once a month or in our membership program, because they're like, you know what, they're constantly taking on other people's emotions, and they're trying to work on, how do I protect myself from...
What does that appointment look like then? Because that seems like more of a
10 minutes, an hour, like what are you physically doing?
To me, or a more going in one and done kind of doesn't, I don't see that myself, because it didn't. I eat every day, poop every day, I go here every day, and so then for this to be a one and done, thinking that the environment isn't going to impact me ever again, or I'm not going to come in until I'm sick again.
It depends on how open people are. Once they start getting into it and they go, oh gosh, because we'll usually acknowledge that they have some sort of emotional stress. And if they're open to it, then they might continue to come, and then they get more open, and then we feed them a little bit at a time, just to whatever, they feel like they're open enough. And then as they start to open, they continue to come more. So I definitely have men that I thought, oh, they're not going to come very much. And then they're still coming every month. I'm like, okay, this is good. Very type A driven men that are, hold on to a lot of anger and frustration and all that kind of stuff. So
I can just speak for myself, and I'm going to be vulnerable here for a minute.
Nice.
Open and vulnerable. So I used to
go for it.
I used to own garden centers, right? And so for 15 years, I mean, I was bathed in chemicals, you might as well say. I mean, literally. We had a warehouse full of, you walk into the warehouse, it'd knock you over, the smell of the chemicals, and we're spraying plants and selling them, and all that stuff, using them. So for 18 years, flooded in chemicals, and never thought I felt bad. I always thought I felt pretty good. So then we, get in the real estate thing over the last, 7 years or however long it is that you've been kind of gone cuckoo nuts over natural and organic and stuff. So she's been feeding me supplements, and, really I've been paying attention to it for about 2 years maybe or so.
Probably.
I've really been. And I have to say that I feel great.
Nice.
All the time.
Nice. That's great.
And sometimes I feel like I feel guilty actually about it, to be honest with you, because I feel so great all the time. So there is something
Yes.
For me, it's just like, hey, I don't know. She lays out the bottles here and says, take these supplements. And I'm like, okay, like a schlemon. I go in there and I just take them. And
Well,
so great.
you've done a lot of, emotional work as well. I mean, you might not realize it, but you did a lot of work. If you don't, well, if I say it, I say it. But with how long you've not been drinking, like that whole process of when you could, there was a lot of emotional stuff that you worked through
during that time.
During that time that I don't even think you probably give yourself, credit for sure.
Yeah, 30. I haven't had a drink in 38 years. So
Oh,
I mean, just like
wow.
So he's
I don't
38.
drink.
I'm 29.
And then
Nice.
I quit smoking 30 some years ago. I don't smoke. It's just like that.
Yes.
I'm not that guy. I don't
Yes.
drink and I don't smoke. It's not like I can't. I'm not that guy. I'm a different person.
That's
so.
exactly what you just said, though. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
And the
not a
conscious
smoker
language is
anymore. I'm
huge,
not.
yeah.
Yes, I'm not
Yeah.
a drinker. I'm not a smoker.
Yeah.
Those words are so
You
powerful.
want to have a bump? Super duper. I don't care. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to have one
Yep.
because I know what happens when I do, and it's not pretty. So this is our Healthy Homes at healthyhomes.com. 65 drool all over myself. 651-775-9194. 651-775-9194. We'll be right back. Thanks for coming back. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. That's the website to go to. Everyone goes there. I can't believe the traffic that we're on the website. You know what they're going there for, Sheila?
My muffin top.
Muffin Top Meltdown.
Well, my classes too.
Yeah.
My events.
Sure.
I hold a lot. I love teaching. I love sharing. We've got a lot. We even have muscle testing coming up. We've got a lot. NAT, which is a neuro application. We got a lot coming up.
Morphogenic field testing. That's a mouthful there.
Yeah, it is.
Morphogenic field testing. So tell us a little bit. Can you give us a story of somebody who's come into the clinic, and you call it a clinic? Or,
Yeah.
Okay. They come into the clinic and they got some pain or they've got an issue. What does your principal client look like? Age, rank and serial number, kind of, so to speak. What is the avatar in today's language of that person coming in?
Probably 40 to 60-year-old women.
Okay.
That's probably the main segment of people that are most interested in their health.
And what is their main complaint?
Their main complaint, sleep issues, energy issues, digestion issues, and emotional mood issues.
Do you find that women are coming in then?
Because they have had it with men after all that time.
Yeah, well, and who can blame them? After the children have kind of become autonomous,
made it through.
or off on their own. Can I bring?
Yeah,
Can we focus now
Okay,
on,
Yeah, so we can.
on me?
Okay, let's focus
so-
on you, honey.
So, do you find that when the kids kind of have gone off
Yeah.
then, and now for the first time probably in 10 or 15 years, they have an opportunity, and they look in the mirror one day and they go, "Wow, things
But
have changed."
not only that, they start to feel it now because they haven't felt it because they've just had to deal and push through and they've just like not paid attention to it or felt it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're starting perimenopause, menopause.
Right.
Usually when the kids are leaving, it's right around
Yeah.
that stage.
What's that mean?
That's basically puberty backwards.
Okay.
So all the emotional stuff you go through in puberty and how your body changes, it's the same thing, but it's on the opposite end of it. So it's the libido is a huge issue. So that's a huge issue. So I
Yeah,
find
it
a
is.
lot of marriages end at around that time frame because the sex drive is different. That's a problem.
And the men go for an upgrade.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them will go for upgrades. Yeah, that's true. But it's a lot of women will leave too. I mean, because they don't
Done
feel
with
connected. They don't feel connected, or they haven't taken the time to spend time on their relationships. So that's really
All right. So
important
they
too.
come in,
there's
they
a
look
lot-
in the mirror. I came in the bathroom just the other day. Sheila's sobbing in the mirror, looking. She said, "I used to be so."
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, poor Sheila.
Yeah, he raises me.
You gotta love her because she puts up with a lot. Okay.
Yes.
So they're like, I've got for the first time now in 15 years, I have an opportunity to focus on myself.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling some different things here, whatever they may be, and they come in and they kind of unload on you.
Yeah, and there's never one symptom.
Okay.
They usually have multiple.
Right.
They have multiple
Right.
things going on.
Never one thing.
And if they have a digestive issues or sacral is basically the lower abdomen
Okay.
issues. If they have digestive issues, they always have sex issues or sexual issues. It's like, what's going on with your sex life? They'll be like, what's sex life?
Yeah.
Or I have a drive, my husband doesn't. My husband has a drive, I don't. There's a problem going on here. So it is a really important thing to address. I have an example of maybe somebody that had I want to do a parasite one for you.
Yeah, right.
So she comes in, she's like, oh, I have these migraine headaches, and they seem to be around her cycle. And so she was getting these
So
migraine
she was
headaches.
still having her cycle.
She was still having
Okay,
her
all
cycle.
right.
Yeah. She was in her 40s. So
Okay.
still having those. And then I said, well, you're coming up with parasites. So we really have to address these parasites. And with the testing kit, you can see like whether it's a basically a cellular parasite, which you're not going to see in your stool,
right.
or more of a worm, which
Yep.
you might see. Well, you will see in your stool if you
right,
look.
Right.
So she was like,
If you run it through the coffee, so
oh,
Right,
she was just like,
exactly.
she goes, oh my gosh. She's
Sit on the strainer.
she's like, this is so gross. So anyway, so she goes, okay. So she takes the stuff,
Yep,
that I give
yep.
her. And she comes back and she's literally losing her mind. She's like, oh my gosh. And I go, what? She goes, I can't do this. And I go, what do you mean you can't do this? She goes, I can't. She goes, it was hanging out of my butt and I had to pull it out. And she was calling for her husband and she goes, I can't. I got to stop this. I cannot do
well,
this
she's
anymore.
gotta get rid of it.
And I said,
Right.
no. She
Yeah.
goes, no, I don't think you know who I am. Like, I am not good with bugs in any way. Like, this is not me. I can't
Especially
do it.
coming out of me.
Yes,
Right,
exactly. She
exactly.
was like, oh,
Exactly.
so she was really losing it. But I said, no, let's please just hang in there.
Yes, it's rough.
And you
It's
got to
rough.
get through it.
Yep.
And
How long does it take when you say get
so,
through it?
like, for her, maybe she was quick, 2-3 months.
Okay.
As soon as her body
Okay,
released
so you're
it.
not talking a week deal here.
No, but usually it can take up to a year.
All
It depends
right.
on how much, where are they in the body?
All
Do they
right.
have to take time to detoxify out?
Right.
Hers tend to be not like all over the place. So once we got that done, she has had no more migraine headaches.
All right,
so
so-
that's huge.
There's so many problems that the parasites create.
Yeah.
And people just can't even wrap their head around that it's even a connection.
Are there different?
Yes, nutrient deficiencies they cause more than anything.
I mean,
That's
headaches,
the first
migraine.
thing.
I mean,
yeah.
mood swing. I mean, it's pain. I mean,
Yes.
it's a whole list of things.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Are there different
interesting.
cleanses then that you do to get rid of parasites, or is it like one do this and you'll get rid of all the parasites?
There is definitely different. I like to use more of the herbs and just to make sure that their body is detoxifying. So making sure all their detoxification pathways are open, and they're on the exact right herbs and supplements that they need for their body to eliminate them. So I'll test the parasite with the herbs and say which ones are going to work for this or for this specific one.
But you have to know which parasites you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have the test kit that has the different types.
Oh, what's that look like?
So-
What is that? What is that?
So all the tested. So basically, I have hundreds of little vials that have energetic frequencies in them. So
Okay.
say there's an energetic frequency of a
Ringworm.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Exactly.
okay.
Like the worm, and her body, through a muscle test, through a reflex test, it tests strong for that specific energetic frequency. What I'm thinking is that's an active energy that needs to be shut off. Okay. So you can also have energetic parasites. Energetic parasites would be somebody around you that's sucking off of you energetically. You
Like-
get around them and you feel drained afterwards.
Oh,
You're like, oh
yep.
my gosh.
Yep,
So
yep.
there's energetic
What
and
do
then
you do
there's
for
physical
them?
parasites. Yeah, for them, you kind of have to work on the relationships, and some people don't want to
Or just get
release
rid of
them.
it.
Well, if it's a family member, like if it's actually an energetic parasite and it's a family member, it's like just try to like distance yourself a little bit more from this person. This is not a healthy person for
Right.
you. So, and then I always look at
And there's some emotion work that goes with
Yeah.
that. For
Yes,
you.
of course,
Yeah.
For
of
you,
course.
right? Like the forgiveness piece is
Yes.
for you, right? Because the other person, they don't even realize that.
You're dead to me.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
nice to say that.
That's exactly it. But also, if you look at digestion, is such a big one. I had a lady the other day, or well, like 2 weeks ago. So she came in and she was like, she looks at me. She's like, I'm so down, I can't even function. And she said, I can't get in with my doctor right now. I just need a medication. And I was like, okay, let me just see what we can do. Let's just see what we can do. And so I'm like, let's just shift her gut microbiome. Let's just shift it quick and see if we can get her better. So I got her on something to obviously move her bowels more, but also a specific probiotic for her and prebiotic for her. And she came back the next time and said, I saved her life. Not I saved her life, her gut saved her life.
Yeah, right.
You know, it was like, oh, this girl she needs something now to fix this. So that's that gut-brain connection. That's such a huge part of your health generally.
Now, children, I got to tell you, our children are so sick. Our younger generation is just so sick. You know, do they take longer? You know, no, they usually are quicker. But you know, they got so much more wrong with us than
the problem
than
with
us.
The younger generation is that, especially if they're living at home, is their parents.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Our generation is feeding our kids junk.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, it's because
it's
I
easy
love
and
them, so
quick.
I'm going to give them the quick cookies because they're having a
Exactly.
hard day.
Right.
You know, somebody's trying to. Your kid is overweight. Oh, let me just feed them.
Yep.
You know, cookies, and a donut for breakfast. I go, what? Do people really eat like this for
They
their
do.
kids? That they feed their kids
90%,
that way?
Yeah, a lot.
You know, so a lot of it's our problem, but it's also
Yes.
the food supply, as you know.
Right.
The food supply is it's just not very good. I mean, it's really bad. If so many people go over to Europe and they go, oh my gosh, I could eat anything, and it felt amazing.
Well, they don't
And
have all the chemicals and
thousands of
right.
chemicals that are allowed here that are not allowed there, and so it's much harder to eat healthier here. So our bodies have to deal with a lot more.
You get up in the morning and you eat a bowl full of sugar, and then you sprinkle some sugar on top of it, and then have a glass of sugar on the side, and then wonder why you can't concentrate in
I have
school.
a big issue with
That's
sugar.
how we grew up, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up eating
I
Lucky
didn't grow up either.
Charms. I grew up eating all that junk. Malto meal with lots of sugar on it.
Like
That's how
malto meal with brown sugar on it.
Yes.
Don't diss the malto meal. Sorry, Healthy Homes. Our Healthy Homes. We have dessert for breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
OurHealthyHomes.com. 651-775-9194. One more to go. And we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Our Healthy Homes, OurHealthyHomes.com. We're in part 2 of a 2-part series of the Body Project Studio. The Body Project Studio. We're in the studio right now with Paula Smith, and we're talking about natural medicine, like we always do. What's the connection between your physical body and your the energy, the energetic body? Is that a fair word to call it? The energetic field
absolutely.
or whatever it is.
That's really what the morphogenic field is. It's the energy field extending from your body.
And you can photograph it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely you can.
Yeah, so we know it's real.
Yes, absolutely. So I will test the energy field around the body and find out where there is dysfunction, because if your energy field is nice and big and out there, you can heal. Mm-hmm. If it is not, you cannot heal. And that's what Rob was talking about on his segment is the Apple Watches. I find those to just shut people down.
Really?
It's unbelievable. It
Okay,
causes
so
heart issues.
Apple
It causes
Watches,
anxiety.
what about earbuds?
Bad.
Earbuds aren't good either,
No
but
good?
Apple
No
Watches
bueno?
are the worst.
Okay.
They're worse than the Fitbits and all that. That when I test,
Okay.
it's like 90% aren't good.
And these
with
people that are
Apple.
wearing them to bed.
Yep.
Right? Oh, I got to
Yep.
see my sleep cycle. Well, why do you have to be so obsessed about your sleep cycle? Like, really? I mean, like, maybe do it to get a vision of where it's
you at. Yep.
But then to maintain it and wear it, and then they just get obsessed about it. I had one gal that was having really bad arm pain, and what oil or cream or whatever
Sure.
can I put on it? And I'm like, how
Take
long
that thing
how
off
long
your
have you worn that thing on your wrist? And
Yep.
she's however long it was, and I said, you know what? Put this balm on it. Take that thing off, for 2 months, and then let me know. Sure enough, the pain went away after a couple months.
That's absolutely. We're addicted in our society. We're addicted to devices, and we're addicted to knowing all these things, which is taking us out of knowing ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, how do I feel when I eat that food? I don't even know. I'm just eating it,
Right.
Or how do I feel after I drink that drink? How do I feel? Like, what does my body feel like? Does my body want this food? Does it not want this food? We're so disconnected from that because we're so addicted to, because our foods are designed to make us addicted.
Say that again.
Our foods are designed
Yes.
to
Yes,
make us
yes,
addicted,
yes,
right?
Right.
So
yes.
it's like Diet Coke, caramel coloring. The
Yes.
most addictive substance there is caramel coloring.
Yep.
We had a food
Besides
scientist,
sugar, but-
a food scientist on the show a
Yeah.
couple of months ago, and she was talking about that. She was in the dairy thing and the yogurt thing, and did a lot of work for some major food manufacturers that were right here in the Twin Cities, and they specifically create foods to make you want to eat more of them.
Yes.
I mean that's just what they do, and to their their job is to sell a lot of food, so then
They make more money.
sell a lot of product. That's what they owe their shareholders, so they make it so that it's so tasty you want more.
Yes.
But the problem is that when you have done that now, and you're now in your 40s or you're now whatever, I got to figure this out,
Yeah.
right? You have like killed your taste buds.
Well,
Right?
sure.
Yeah, it's
Because you
like
try-
an apple
you wanna-
doesn't taste good.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're trying to work back, and then people, I guess for me, it's like going from processed foods, vegan. Then I went to just eating all protein bars and protein shakes, just a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's processed
Yeah.
too.
And so now moving into more like, okay, let's get back to eating real food.
Yeah.
Like, is this real food?
Yeah.
If it's Cheetos, organic Cheetos, no, that's not real food, people.
Yeah, if it
it's
comes out of a
organic, yes,
box.
but it's Cheetos.
I haven't had a potato chip in a month, and that's like huge for me.
You cannot eat one potato
You
chip.
can't.
All right, so
Yes.
I'm curious about. We talked about devices. What about people now who wear like copper bracelets or magnetic bracelets and all
That's
that?
a good.
EMF
And a lot of people are eating.
necklaces.
Yeah,
Does
and a
that
lot of
do
people are
anything?
wearing crystals. A lot of people wear
Yeah.
crystals and stuff.
Does that do anything?
Yes. Well, it can be bad or good.
Okay.
So I've tested people that it totally shuts them down. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, you
really?
cannot wear this crystal or whatever they're wearing in their bras or whatever they're doing with these crystals.
Really?
And sometimes copper will shut them down. It kind of depends on what's going on internally with their body too, right? Because copper and zinc are imbalanced together, right? They have to be imbalanced together. Like all your minerals have to be imbalanced together. Now you're throwing copper, which is going to be absorbing into your skin. What is that going to do?
So don't you see
Is
all
that going to
those?
throw your zinc off? Probably.
Don't you
It's
see?
like mercury in your teeth. Is
Yeah.
that going to throw your other
Right.
mineral levels off? Yes.
So
Yep.
then you look at all these, I want to say babies, but they are babies and really young kids that all are wearing, the copper necklace or
yeah.
the what is that one, brown stone or whatever. I mean, they've got the bracelets, they've got the
Like
necklaces.
hematite or you mean those kind of ones?
Yeah. So they just buy them because they're
Because they're cool or it's like
Because it's
trending
cool.
or
or
Trending.
it's supposed to
something.
be good for them,
Yeah.
Right.
like
Yeah.
that copper bracelet or something.
Yeah, I mean, it really that's why. I mean, that's why I think
You can muscle
That's
test
why I think
yourself on
morphogenic
everything.
field testing is the most important thing. I like muscle testing yourself, but there's a level that you need someone else because
Yes.
your
Yeah.
subconscious is coming in
That's
going,
me.
"Hey, I want that
Potato
donuts
chip.
or whatever. I want that." And
I'm
it's like,
muscle testing,
no.
reaching for this coffee right now. I
Yes.
have no problem going to it.
But you can.
No, that's
can
exactly it.
to,
Yes, for a
to-
lot, if you have no emotional attachment to what you're testing, absolutely you can test yourself. But many times I'll be like, I have a headache. I'm not sure. I've had a headache for 2 days. I'm not sure why. And Rob comes and tests me and he's like, oh, your progesterone's off. And then I rebalance that and, it's gone in 20 minutes, but I couldn't get it myself because I was having a
Sure.
headache,
Oh, right.
you know, so then I wasn't
sometimes
in the right
you're just
frame.
too close.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's really.
So how long is the session when you come in to do like a muscle testing thing?
Yeah, so my first session is always an hour with people. I got their consultation is 30 minutes over the phone. We go through every single thing that's going on with them, what they want to address. We do a health history, a toxicity questionnaire, so all the toxicity stuff that they have going on. I want to get a good picture of what they have going on, and then from there I'm going to just test. The first thing I'm going to test is I'm going to say, does this person have any nutrient deficiencies? Because if they have nutrient deficiencies, the body can't heal without that. You have to have the basic, which is your vitamins and minerals, down. Once that's down, we start layering in other things, and those appointments are 30 minutes. at a session. So my package is 6. So it's an hour in the for the first session. They also get an hour of microcurrent with our practitioner, and she does whether they do want an organ cleanse or a lymph drainage or whatever. They get to experience that, and then they have 5 more sessions with me for 30-minute appointments. After that, we kind of assess where are they at. And a lot of people will move into our monthly membership program, so they get a reduced rate. So and they come once a month, and they'll see me once a month. That's kind of how it works with mine. Rob
and
also
they just
has a
show up
package
and
too.
just say you just let them.
Yeah, it depends. It depends because people that'll show up because you always have stressors that are happening every single month. So people will show up, and sometimes there's people that'll just say, "Tell me what my body's telling me. Just test me. I just kind of want to see." I don't have anything major going on, and then we're able to get deeper. It's kind of fun that way.
Okay, so then then how do you get rid of the stressor, or how is it?
What I look at is I look at foods. How I'm going to address a symptom is I'm going to look at lifestyle, foods, what foods are they eating, what foods do they need to include. We're going to look at the lifestyle kit. I have a lifestyle kit. That lifestyle kit's going to say, hey, this person, I usually will have let's say a lot of people have high cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Mm-hmm. I'll put the high cortisol energy on their body, and then I'm going to test for what their body wants lifestyle-wise to rebalance that cortisol. It could be mindfulness, meditation, Pilates, yoga. It can be hiking, it can be massage, it can be taking a vacation. It will tell you exactly what the person needs to do lifestyle-wise.
So what'd you do for your progestin when you were low then? So then what did you do?
Rob put the frequency on the microcurrent and infused it into my water.
Okay, so
and then I also took a wild yam cream, which is a progesterone-based, natural progesterone-based. I just added a little bit more.
Yam?
Yeah,
wild yam
that's
cream.
what's in Young Living's Progestins Plus is wild yam.
The progestins, yeah. So
okay, so most disease manifests itself in some kind of inflation or inflammation. Okay, so tell us what causes inflammation, like what foods or because you always hear inflammation seems to be a fun topic for people. Now talk about inflammation.
Yeah, inflammation can be caused by pretty much anything can cause inflammation, but you're really looking at what we talk about is like physical stressors. That would be like muscle imbalances would be a physical stressor. We also have chemical imbalances, so chemical, heavy metal, also immune challenges would fall into that, as well as foods. There's a lot of food toxins out there that people need to be aware of. That's the aspartames, the
sugar, the corn syrup,
it just kind of goes a long time. And then the other one's the emotional stress. So we're gonna address all 3 components. So we're gonna address the emotional side, we're gonna address the physical side, and the chemical side. So the chemical side is gonna be some sort of nutrients. What does their body need to release these nutrients or to release the toxins from the body, and where are the toxins in the body? The physical side generally is Rob is going through all of that with them.
Okay, so you mentioned that you ate protein bars and protein shakes and stuff like that. A lot of that protein is like peas or whey or which are inflammatory.
Yes.
In themselves. So what is the best protein?
Not to everyone though. Not everyone would be inflamed from those.
Oh.
Right? Because not everybody's different.
Okay.
So some people can handle whey protein, some people cannot handle whey protein.
Mm-hmm.
Which proteins are do you know which proteins absorb in, or is that
It depends on the person. It depends on their gut permeability, like what can they absorb. It also goes down to, are they sensitive to dairy? Are they sensitive to... So a lot of people can be sensitive to pea protein as well. People don't really realize that, but that causes a lot of acne. So that can imbalance the body too.
So it's the old, it depends, Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
You never get a straight answer out of these guys.
Well,
it's always
and it's
depends.
forever changing.
I know it. But you can find out for yourself personally by reaching out to the Body Project Studio, thebodyprojectstudio.com. Go in there, have an assessment, tell them what your issue is, one-on-one, personal, tailored specifically to your body type, style, and what's going on in your life. You can't beat it. thebodyprojectstudio.com. That's it for this week on Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194. Speak with the lovely and talented Sheila. I talk to her every day. The lovely and talented Sheila.
Thank goodness.
We'll see you next week.
But when he calls me sugar, I love that man with all my might. When he calls me that name, it does things to me. I tell him, honey, you